Elgersma, and we are on our way to Mayne Island. And you're watching Go Island on Shaw TV. On today's show, we meet two artists who are as brave as they are talented, and tips on how to ensure your home Wi-Fi network is secure. And we learn what you can do to access the library online anytime. All that and much more on Go Island.
Go Island is brought to you by German Auto Import Network.
Hello, and thank you so much for joining us on Go Island. And I want to go out of my way to thank you for coming all the way to Maine with us today. That's right, we are on Mayne Island. It's a beautiful Gulf island with so much history, so much character, and so much natural beauty that we absolutely had to bring you along with us on our trip today. And I'm standing here with Murray, who knows why this place is so magical, because he has spent time up close and personal experiencing Mayne Island for himself. Now, this place has rich history unto itself. It was originally built in 1911, is that right?
Yes, 1911. A French company was in here from France.
That's right.
And they were investing in a I believe it was a brickworks factory.
That's a brickworks, right?
Yeah, brickworks, and they began building this place. They started to build an infrastructure. They had a dock just down the way here.
Yeah.
They had a kiln house built, and they built the boarding house for the workers,
right.
which is what the Main Inn is. It's
right.
a boarding house for the workers. And when First World War broke out,
yeah.
the investment pulled out, and the whole development stopped.
Yeah, yeah.
So it sat rather idle, I think, for a few decades anyway. Most recent history that I know of that it was actually used as a resort, or an inn anyways, was in the 1940s, maybe late 1930s, 1940s. And it has quite a rich history since then. There's been all sorts of colorful characters and owners, and a couple of BC Lions owned the hotel. And yeah.
That's lots of stories.
Here you see the big island to the left.
Yep.
There's this little small rock to the right, and then two rocks. Mm-hmm. Those two rocks are actually about 3 miles out. It doesn't seem that far from here, but it's quite a distance.
Right.
We have a telescope in the hotel that's pointed out there, a very powerful telescope. It looks like you're about 100 yards off the island there, and it's just a favorite haul out for sea lions and seals. So we have a pretty good image of that on our TV screens in the hotel.
That is
and
so
visitors
cool.
get quite a kick out of it.
Well, we are going to talk to Dave in just a moment, who's his partner here at the Mayne Island Resort. But first, you never think that something bad or tragic will happen to you. Well, there's two young men that did have a tragedy happen to them, but they have turned their tragedy around and have created an extraordinary career that is not only awe-inspiring, but will absolutely make you look at your own life differently. Sucheta Singh with that story. Very, very inspiring. Thank you, Sucheta Singh. We are on Mayne Island today, and I have to say, I am already feeling the relax, the chill. It's such a magical place here. And Dave, Mayne Island Resort is in one of the most beautiful bays here on Maine, in Bennett Bay. For people who've never been to Mayne Island, why is this a big draw for people to come over to this Gulf Island and spend a couple of days chilling out?
The relax factor is a big thing, of course. You know, that's the main thing we hear. They tell us the silence is deafening. You know, they come, where's the noise?
I know.
There's no noise here, you know. Our roosters are the sea lions that you hear in the morning. So if you're up like 4 in the morning, you'll hear the sea lions out on the rocks. Of course, if people enjoy the spa treatments and that, they'll come and get a spa. They like to indulge a little bit and spoil themselves a bit when they're over here.
Welcome back to Go Island. We have traveled to Mayne Island. Now, if you've never been here, Put it on your list of things to do in 2014 because this place is so beautiful. Simple to get here. I just hopped on a ferry from Schwartz Bay. You get here in an hour. It's right across from Galliano Island. It's a beautiful place. But one of the things that makes Mayne, I think, very unique is the history. And Alan Guy is one of the local residents here, and you know some of the stuff, some of the stories. Tell us a little bit about the history of the lighthouse here on Mayne Island.
The lighthouse, which is actually the house,
Yeah.
and the light tower, they are now two separate buildings, but originally the lighthouse had the light perched on top of it. Captain Georgeson, who was the first lightkeeper, and the island that's out there behind us is named for him. He was the longest serving lightkeeper of them all. He was 38 years in that house. He brought his kids up in that house.
Unbelievable.
An amazing man. And we have some of the history in the book in the library.
You have to come see the lighthouse here on Mayne Island. It's so beautiful, and bring your camera because it's just the perfect photo op. But there's so much more history here, and we're going to talk to Alan Guy more in just a moment about that. But first, we go from history to the future, and everyone these days has some sort of smartphone or iPad or device. Well, James Green met up with an expert and got the 411 on how to stay safe with our smart devices. Thank you for those tips, James Green. We're here on beautiful Mayne Island. It is such an easy island to get to from Victoria or Vancouver Island or Pender or Salt Spring or even Galliano Island. You just hop on a ferry, you're here in no time, and you really feel like you've escaped to a completely different place. It has its own personality and, of course, its own history. Alan, there are several points of interest here on Mayne. We could probably talk for hours, but let's talk first of all about the church, the old church that's here. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, the church, St. Mary Magdalene, is it's like a man for all seasons. It's officially an Anglican church, but it actually has, it opens its doors to everyone. Agricultural Society, which runs the Agricultural Hall, another, which is a heritage building here. The hall and the church are the two oldest buildings on the island. And the Agricultural Society also operates the thrift store, which is currently housed in what was a building attached to the museum, and the museum was a conversion from the original police station and jail.
Oh, cool.
Jail. It's a one-cell jail, or it was, and it's always, I always used to think, we used to run the taxi services, so people would ask us about these things, and I kept thinking, well, it's okay having a one-cell jail, but what did they do when there was a fight? Did they put the two guys in together, or did they put them in shifts, or what? But, and apparently, and I only have this from second-hand storage, but the first occupant of the jail was not a Mayne Islander, I'm pleased to say, but he was a fisherman who came over from Galliano with some...
Those Galliano fishermen, yes.
And got into a fight with a local. And so he spent the night in jail, and the irony was his name was Freeman.
One of the oldest running hotels in British Columbia is right here on Mayne Island. Tell us a little bit about that in Miners Bay.
It's the Springwater Lodge, and it grew out of the movement to the gold rush, and so they would paddle through Active Pass all the way from Victoria, and by the time they got here they were pretty tired, so they would stop off here, and some enterprising locals decided, well, they could set up a sort of stock shop here, but also it would be good if there was beer. So out of that came the first pub there, and that lodge has held that license longer than any other pub in the province.
That's right. So even during Prohibition, they held on to it. Tell us about the Japanese gardens.
Yes, the Japanese garden is an ongoing, but it's also an end product of a dream, really, that was in the back of the minds of two incredible, absolutely incredible islanders, Don Herbert and Tosh Sato. They had this dream that the island needed to somehow recognize and create something as a thank you, I guess, in a way, for the contributions that the Japanese immigrants made here between the late 1880s and 1942, when, of course, they were all swept away in that totally ludicrous piece of government. It's glorious in the spring and the summer, and then the other highlight is when the Christmas lights go up.
We have to take a very short break, but please go nowhere because we are going to explore more of Mayne Island, including some of the culinary arts here. And we have a story on how you can enjoy the library from your smartphone. Welcome back to Go Island. We are on Mayne Island and we are in the hot, sizzling, smell good kitchen right here at Bennett Bay Bistro at the Mayne Island Resort and Spa. David, it is so it's sizzling hot in here and it smells so good. What is the philosophy behind the dishes you prepare, the menu you have here? What's your philosophy here?
Well, the key is at the Bennett Bay Bistro is we really enjoy making things fresh, simple, and easy. We're big believers of keeping it simple, keeping it fresh, and keeping it awesome. And as long as our product is of the highest quality, it's pretty hard not to prepare food of the highest quality for our guests and our customers.
Well, you know, when you come here and you sit and look out at the beautiful ocean at the Bennett Bay, which is just spectacular, you can't help but want to order seafood. What's your philosophy behind the seafood that you guys prepare here at Bennett Bay?
Well, here we're part of a program called OceanWise, and OceanWise is all about the sustainable harvesting of seafood. So this means that they are suppliers, they go out and they catch seafood in ways where there's not much byproduct and bycatch.
Nice.
And as a result of that, it means that we're keeping our planet a little safer and alive for a little longer.
So you can feel good when you order seafood here and you can eat it without any guilt. I have ordered the salmon, so I'm going to try it in just a moment. But as David prepares my salmon, we are going to head out to hear about how our libraries are now online and we can order books and podcasts and all sorts of things. It's a whole new world. May Cuthbert explains. And this is how you finish your day on Mayne Island, with some fresh salmon. Oh my word! At Bennett Bay Bistro, at the Mayne Island Resort and Spa. What a crazy, beautiful, fun, interesting island this is, full of history and beauty and culinary arts, as well as visual arts. If you haven't been to Mayne Island, make sure that you find a way to get here in the next year and a half. It's so simple from Victoria or Salt Spring or Pender or Saturna. Hop on a ferry and you're here in no time, and absolutely amazing escape. You feel like you're somewhere else. I want to thank you all so much for watching, and if you have any questions, feedback, thoughts, or ideas, you know where to find us. Thanks for watching. True test. Here we go. So good, so good.
Go Island is brought to you by German Auto Import Network. Women's clothing provided by Tulip Noir. Casual designer fashions. Men's wardrobe by DG Bremner & Co. Menswear and accessories. Hair services provided by Salon J.